On Two Wheels Better tonight, Wayne Kershaw and Paul Johnston have a big time on small bikes. But first, let's join Jeff Stone at a famous factory in the Midlands.
They say the legend lives on, and in a way it does. Despite the dark days of the demise of the British bike industry, the name Triumph has certainly lost none of its magic over the years, but some things have certainly moved on. The manufacture of Triumphs has changed beyond recognition. Gone are the old days of worn-out machinery producing, well, let's face it, poor quality components, and in comes state-of-the-art equipment from all corners of the globe. Germany, Japan, and of course the UK provide the most up-to-date machinery you can get to ensure that today's Triumph can compete with the world's very best. Quality is a watchword at Triumph, and everything is done to ensure that this is maintained. Triumph only build against orders, which means they don't mass produce and fill warehouses. So each bike starts life with a build card that stays with it through each stage of manufacture. This also means that the production line can be utilised for one-off orders. Then, like starting along an aisle in a supermarket, components are picked off the shelf along the slowly moving line, except these don't go into a trolley, they make a motorbike. The power unit is first, and once built, each and every engine and gearbox is put through a cold test. In effect, the engine and transmission are driven at idle speed by a motor, while oil pressure and compression pressure are measured to make sure that everything is okay before bolting in the frame. Talking of frames, like other components, the Superlight T595 frames are neatly stacked in batches ready for the freshly run engines. Like a giant Meccano kit, bits are added as the bike progresses, gaining its Superlight Brembo wheels along the way. Last to go on are the tanks and seats, and once ready, completed bikes are wheeled over to the functional test bay, where engines and gearbox are filled with oil and the engines fired up. It's here that the exhaust gases are analysed and minor adjustments made before putting the whole bike through its paces on the rolling road. All wired up, the bike is taken through the gears, brakes checked and responses measured. All being well, the bike then gets a final inspection before going off to dispatch for crating up. So how's this for your motorcycling supermarket? T595s stacked, not quite floor to ceiling, but they're all there, all looking pristine, all ready for the UK market. And some lucky blighter's going to get one of these. Or perhaps someone's bought them all, you never know. And over here, we've got loads of little boxes all ready to go abroad. We've got Switzerland at the end, then you come along Canada, California, Switzerland again, Japan. And on the top row, we've even got them going off to Spain and Greece. They're going everywhere. So this isn't just a British success story, this will be a worldwide success story. Well, we've done the factory visit, had a good look round the way everything is made and pulled together. And I have with me the man who sells Triumph. I don't think he has to try very hard these days, but Bruno Tagliaferri, the UK Sales and Marketing Manager. Bruno, I've been out on the 595 and I've just got to be honest with you, it is an absolutely fabulous machine, but I'm sure I'm not the only one who said that to you, am I?
No, I mean the praise has been good and we've now had the first batch of deliveries in the UK and feedback from both dealers and customers has been very positive to the bike.
And those cynical journalists as well, I mean they've been heaping praise on it as well. I thought a few of them might be saying, oh, it's not quite as good, but they haven't, have they? They all think it's good.
They've been very complimentary generally about the bike and I think it's pleasantly surprised them on how well it rides and the performance and of course the styling they liked anyway, but I think once they've ridden it, I think they realise that we've made a very good attempt at it. There's several groups of customers. There's quite a few existing Triumph owners who really are already converted to buying something that we've built here at Hinckley. Then you've had quite a few people put deposits down because they appreciated there was a waiting list. Now some of those have obviously done that, subject to test riding it. But now that every UK dealer has got a demonstrator, you're starting to get a third batch, that the man who will not make a decision until he has ridden it. So luckily that's given us a third batch of confirmed sales. So it's gone quite well in those 2-3 months since the bike show.
When we were in the packing department or your exporting department, impressive again seeing all the crates there going all over the world. Your export markets seem to have grown rapidly to me. I mean, are you expanding into new markets, especially in the Far East? I didn't think you particularly went to all the countries that are there. I knew Japan was an early one, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Japan was early on in the calendar. We're in most of the markets now. I think we've got 34 markets. There are 1 or 2 other small markets in the Far East, but I think we can now start to grow the business we've got, particularly in Europe, America, Australia and New Zealand and Japan.
So with the famous Triumph name, there must be a bit of nostalgia and a heritage link up. Are you finding this a lot?
I think those two ingredients are vital on some of their machines, like the Thunderbird and Trident. I think the styling has to take certain cues from the 60s. But I think in the other markets, and as we've proved with the T595, the bike has to be razor sharp. It has to have very sporting styling. It has to be very light. It has to perform. It has to brake. It has to have all the attributes of a serious sports bike.
What's a typical? Is there a typical figure for a production run in a day? How many bikes do you produce?
Currently, on a good day, we'll make 80 machines in a day if we've had all their supplies through. So that gives us a figure of between 350 and 400 a week. Mm-hmm. We're about 12 to 13,000 units a year at the moment.
Yeah, which is pretty good. And how many people do you employ in total? I mean, you've got the production area, and then you've got different subcategories.
In total, including design, administration, production and engineering, it's just under 450 people.
I must say the atmosphere was very good out there. The guys were joking with us as we were going around. It seems a nice, this family atmosphere thing. Yes. Is that something you've tried to encourage?
It is. It's been a philosophy of the company. We put a lot of emphasis in recruitment. Two of the key features on recruitment are good attitude and finding good team players who can work together in good and bad times.
Oh, right. Well, it certainly seems happy enough, and the product shows it at the end of the day. Tell me, and this is an intriguing thing, how are you going to top the T595? I don't really expect you to tell me, but you might give me a clue. What have you got up your sleeve? What have Triumph got up the sleeve?
Well, I think as our competitors have shown, you have to just keep improving the models you've got. And if you're to be successful, you have to keep identifying markets that should be moving into, and we're doing that the whole time.
And that's as much as you're going to say.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
For the moment.
All right, Bruno, thanks very much.
Thank you.
It's gross. It's disgusting. Disembodied, disemboweled bits of bike everywhere. We're in the parts and the marketing section of Harley Davidson here in Dorking in Surrey, and oops, it just slipped onto me. Of course, it's a huge, vast industry. Just how big and where would you take someone round in this shop to sort of say, oh, would you like one of these? Where would you start?
Well, basically, we'd start with the clothing side, which is obviously the most popular and obviously has the widest appeal, because you don't have to own a Harley to own a Harley jacket.
And the majority probably don't.
Well, yes and no, yeah. We find all sorts really come in for the clothing. So that's obviously a big area for us. Harley do every part of clothing you can think of. So obviously you're wearing a nice jacket here, leather jeans, leather waistcoats, t-shirts, shirts. We have denims. Harley do their own line of biker blues, which also come in black, by the way. Unbelievably. Right
like
through to boxer shorts, knickers, swimwear, socks.
You beat me to it. I was just going to say, what about the underwear?
That's right. Well, we generally carry the underwear and what have you in the winter.
So what other sort of clothing have you got?
Well, we've got the full range here. We have shirts, t-shirts, ladies sort of underwear, if you like, or ladies t-shirts, caps, scarves, bandanas, boots, sweatshirts, what do you call a dress shirt, I suppose, or denim shirts, right through.
Are Harley the only sort of company that have really gone into mass clothing as opposed to just the riding clothing that would be needed to be on a bike? I mean, they've gone off on a tangent, really, haven't they? Are they the only company to have done that?
As far as I'm aware, yes, to this degree. There are other companies that do their own registered products, but nowhere near in the length and breadth that Harley do. There's a huge selection of stuff that you can buy for your Harley. absolutely enormous for every single model. You can dress it up whichever way you want. A lot of the parts are interchangeable, so that if you want to change the style, you've got a particular bike, you want to change it to the style of another model in the range, you can do that. It just goes on and on and on and on.
You can morph your bike for some of your sports, so you end up with an Ultra Glide.
That's exactly right. And we have customers who have done that, you know, basically converted their Sportster, for example, into a Heritage.
What is the sort of markup, though, just on, say, you know, something that is necessarily just Harley? Are you paying so much more just for the name?
No, actually, funny enough, yeah, I mean, some of the parts are very, very expensive. There's no doubt about it. I mean, and some are very, very, very cheap. I mean, you've got this sort of item here, which is probably a pound or two, which is just a stick-on decal, you know.
It's a nipple cover.
That's right. Going right up to sort of like a full dress light kit or something, which is going to cost you hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Right. So it varies. Yes, I mean, obviously it's expensive, or it's on the expensive side, but it is a quality product.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating. I think you need just lots of this. You know, it's like, you know, money. Can't see it, can you, in this coat? Hold that for a moment.
Thanks very much. We'd like the jacket back, please, Ian, if possible.
Well, you've heard of them all the famous racing circuits, Brands Hatch, Daytona, Le Mans and Paul Ricard, and you've got Donington, Alton Park, and you've got Chasewater at Cannock. Yes, Chasewater at Cannock. He's definitely got the wrong place. This isn't right. He said Cannock, he said Chasewater Park. There's something not right. He's done it to me again, that Paul.
Wait,
are you Rangers?
wait.
Paul, are you, mate?
What you doing here?
Well, you said to me, Chasewater Park, Cannock. Now, check
Exactly.
the place out. Look at this dump.
Well, that is a dump, but that's the wrong place. This way.
Ah, we're not a
Wrong.
million miles away, are we?
You're very close, but you're in the wrong field. Come on.
Oh, good do. What a nice... Oh. Is this it? Like,
This
you know.
this is it. You will love this today.
But,
Great
but
fun.
now, hang on. No, I mean, that's impressive, but no big motorhome, no 40-foot Winnebagos. You know,
No.
like Mamela has and all the big stars.
No. A lot of the glamour isn't here. The
Yeah, well,
Page 3 girls aren't here today.
noticed.
Sorry about that. But the competitive side of it is just as good as the big stuff. But everything is slightly smaller today, which is why I think you're just the man for the job.
Now I know why he's brought me to this meeting. Look at the size of these machines. This is the second round of a championship run by the MMRA, which is a bit of a mouthful when you've had a few drinks the night before. I'm joined by Scott Capello here, who's a leading Manchester Mafia man. Not true. Scott has been like behind these things for a long time, and you import this little baby, don't you?
Do indeed, yeah.
Quite an impressive machine, I must add. Tell us a bit about it, Scott, because as I look at it, I mean, it just looks too good to use. It looks like it should be on the mantelpiece at
Yeah.
home, like, you know, for display.
No, it's I mean it's a purpose-built race bike, 39cc, two-stroke, water-cooled.
They're noisy, these little things,
Yeah,
aren't
they're
they?
also very, very noisy as well. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's effectively a very, very quick bike. It can be used on a mantelpiece, I suppose, but that's not really what we encourage the people to do with them.
No, I can understand it. I mean, I've seen this. I've also had a walk around the paddock here, and there's all sorts of sizes, all sorts of shapes, colours, some pretty things, some fairly sort of ropey things.
Yeah.
What's the score? Surely they're not in the same class. Are they different levels
No,
of...
what you have is you have the people who start right from sort of grassroots. The older bikes were basically made as a bit of fun. They were actually piston-ported engines from stuff like bush cutters and that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Which were slotted into bike frames for a bit of a laugh, and then it sort of grew from there into what we now call the supers class bikes, which employ reed valve induction engines. The main difference, obviously, is horsepower between them, as well as cost. There are two sizes. There's basically the standard mini, and then you get the midi, which is this. The midi is effectively 10% bigger.
Oh, that'd be too big for me then. Yeah.
The midis are popular in this country simply because they are that little bit bigger, and
Yeah.
I think that we're a little bit bigger than the Italians all round, basically. So
Yeah.
you tend to find that these sell much better than the minis.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a work of art. It's gorgeous. It looks like it's been in the wash. It's a 916. It's been in the wash, shrunk. Power to weight ratio then? I mean, it's phenomenal. It must be.
Power to weight ratio is pretty frightening. I mean, on a works bike like this, you're looking at 25 kilos with 12 horsepower, which I think we equated to around 460 brake horsepower per tonne, which
Strike out
puts it
light.
well and truly into sort of Grand Prix
Unbelievable.
level.
I see this is etched here with Mr. D. Eaton written on it. I mean, could you not get Kevin Swance or you know, a Randy Mamela?
No. They weren't asked. Darren's a lot better, to be quite honest.
Oh, they're not up to it?
No, not up to it at all. No,
and this is Darren's bike?
This is Darren's bike, it is indeed.
I don't suppose there's a chance of me having a bit of a dabble on this, as it's my size?
No, absolutely, yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's get some gear on. Have you got some leathers I can borrow?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, right then. Excuse me, cameraman, just cut the job because I'm off to get the gear on and I'm going to have a dabble on this little bike. Yes! I want one! Get me some more petrol in here.
You know, it gets on my nerves sometimes, that Wayne. Remind me never to lend him a bike. Now, just discovered a fabulous collection of mini moto baby bikes, whatever you want to call them. Alan McIntosh, you're responsible for this collection.
Yeah.
So what have we got here? How many bikes have we brought today?
We've got 9 because that was all our van would let us bring.
9?
Yeah.
Right, and you've come a long way for this event, haven't you? Where have you
come from Edinburgh.
Edinburgh?
That's
right. So are you involved with this sort of stuff up there?
Yes, we are actually run the Scottish Mini Motor Association, which is exactly the same as the British Mini Motor Association. Right. And we do all the British Championship rounds as well.
Excellent. But you've got a great collection here. I mean, you must have a few riders with you, have you?
There's 6 of us all together that's came down, but some of us are racing in 2 classes.
Yeah.
Classes are different because of weight.
Well, I've seen some young lads wandering around the back of your van here, so you've got young riders as well.
Yeah, we're trying to help a couple of youngsters. 2 of them are 8 and 9 year old,
right.
And they're doing both quite well, especially in the Scottish Championship as well. They both race that.
And the bikes that they ride, are they the same as the older guys ride, or are they a different type of bike?
It's the same bike, it's just it's restricted. It's got a 6mm restrictor and it slows it down quite a bit, but I mean, I wouldn't take anything away from them. They're very difficult to pass even with the restrictors in them.
That's right, yeah, they're good. They still get the nail. I suppose it makes it easier going the small. You're a bit closer to the floor already, aren't you?
Well, if you're bigger it makes it easier because your legs are longer.
I can't get on one of these things. You need a blooming aerobics lesson before you can get on one of these. They're great fun.
I'm just making myself comfortable so I can have a little chat with this fella here, Ashley Beach, who is the rising star, and in fact I put my money on him as being a world champion superbike racer, Carl Fogarty. Just watch yourself, because Ashley here keeps winning, don't you, mate?
Yeah.
Do you like this mini bike racing?
Yeah.
How old are you?
8.
And at 8 years old, you're riding a bike like this that goes like a rocket. Don't you get a bit scared?
No.
Are you not scared of anything?
No.
Flipping heck. How fast do you reckon it goes?
Don't know.
Well, whatever speed it goes quick enough to frighten the heck out of me, because I've had a go on one. So don't you've got to get a little bit scared every now and again. No? Flipping it, I wish I was like you.
One of the other classes that's on view here today is sidecars. Spike and Judy. Now, you don't look completely mad, Judy, but you go in this thing, don't you?
I do, yeah. I'm the one who hangs out and sticks me bottom, for a nice word, on the floor.
He said you were his bit on the side. Now I know what he means.
That's
right.
the one, yeah.
Right. So, Spike, what's this? I mean, is this the same as the 2-wheel ones we see?
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's still the same 45cc 2-stroke reed valve, the same as my super motor here. And obviously the FDS make the sidecar chassis, and yeah, they're just perfectly the same. 40mm carb, which you get on your production models, whereas actually the supers have 17mm. but you can basically do what you like with them. Yeah.
So you don't just ride that, you ride the other
Yeah,
stuff.
I ride both. Yeah, I do the Super Skinnies, as we call them, or the Super Britain, and then they have the Super Seniors, which are for
the Super Skinnies. I like that.
Yeah, well, it's for us Skinnies, and then the Super Seniors are for the lads are a bit more.
Right. Are you never tempted to swap seats, Judy? Did you ever get on that seat? Never
No,
go?
never at all. No.
Not ever.
Not ever. I don't want to do the boring bit.
Oh, the board. Did you hear that? She said it.
Yeah, that's right. She always said she wanted to go sidecar racing because I used to race big bikes, and I was never into sidecars. And this is the association one. The engine was donated by Bellini, and the sidecar chassis was done by FDS, and the plastics was donated by somebody else. So I asked if we could borrow it, because Judy's always come watching me big bike race, you know, and getting freezing cold and all this. So
I know about getting freezing cold.
Yeah, well, I just did it as a laugh, but after the first round, and now we're leading the championship as well. It's all of a sudden it's a different matter.
You're leading the championship.
We are, yeah.
Exactly. Better get the mantelpiece ready then, haven't you?
It's already ready.
Excellent.
It's
already ready, yeah.
Well, I'm sure you'll agree that these small bikes, small though they may be, are really very, very serious machines, and lots of fun to be had with one of these things. And here's my mate. I've just come to have a look at you on the track. You're supposed to be geared up and racing.
I've took my gear off, mate. I'm not going on the track. They're a bit quick for me, them
You
lads.
look smart before in your fancy leathers. I thought you.
Yeah, but I had to breathe in a lot to get them on.
I know,
and I couldn't.
That, yeah. But you know, we've been sort of taking the mickey, not taking the mickey, but we've been having fun calling.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Baby bikes and super skinnies they call
But
them.
they're serious. I mean, they go just so quick. They're frightening.
And this is a massive thing in Italy, you know.
Oh no,
this is why Italy have got world champions at 18-year-olds.
They start at kids level, don't they, on these things? Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's a great place to start. Serious stuff.
Well, shall we just show a bit of racing?
Let's go and do a bit. Come on.